Hello, Blue Friends. A guy who truly deserves to be an All-American is Otega Oa. This guy has everything to be a standout this season. Let's talk more about that. Kentucky basketball kicks off the 2025-26 season with news that fills fans with optimism and confirms the status of one of the program's central figures. Otega Oa, a veteran point guard and offensive pillar of the team, was named to the preseason All-American second team by CBS Sports, a well-deserved recognition for his impact on the court. He was the only Wildcat to make all three All-American teams, a distinction that not only reinforces his personal trajectory, but also projects high expectations for the upcoming season. Oa enters this season with a recent track record that speaks for itself. Last season, he led Kentucky with averages of 16.2 points per game, along with 4.7 rebounds, 1.7 assists, and 1.6 steals, solidifying himself as the team's driving force. His consistency was impressive. He reached double figures in 34 of 36 games, remaining consistent since the start of the season, with 26 consecutive games scoring at least 10 points. More than just statistics, his presence was crucial in helping the program tie the all-time record for wins against top 15 teams in a single season. A remarkable 8 triumphs, a number that has gone down in the university's history books. After proving his potential in the NBA draft, Oa chose to return to Lexington, a decision that reinforces his ambition and commitment to the team. Under the leadership of Coach Mark Pope, he once again positions himself as Kentucky's offensive and emotional anchor, ready to guide the Wildcats toward historic goals, including the coveted Final Four, a run the university hasn't achieved since 2015. The combination of individual talent, experience, and leadership makes Oa a natural, and his preseason All-American honor is more than symbolic. It's a warning to competitors that Kentucky has, in its point guard, a weapon capable of transforming games and seasons. For fans, the news inspires confidence. Otega Oa is not only a talented player, but an example of perseverance, strategy, and dedication. Each game promises to be a spectacle of skill, intelligence, and commitment, reflecting the best of college basketball. Kentucky basketball, with Pope at the helm and Oa as the star, enters a new season with the feeling that great moments are ahead, and the expectation is that this combination can finally put the program back on a national stage as a top-tier player. Behind the scenes of college recruiting, where competition is fierce and the stakes are sky-high, the Kentucky Wildcats once again emerge as the protagonists in a contest that has all the makings of a classic. At the center of attention is Tyron Stokes, a 5-star forward considered the best player in the 2026 class, whose fate seems increasingly likely to cross paths with the traditional Wildcats led by Mark Pope. In a scenario where rivalries are renewed and new stories are being written, Kentucky positions itself not only as a favorite, but as an irresistible force in the game of seduction involving talent, legacy, and opportunity. The narrative begins with the USC Trojans, a program that seemed to have enough reason to dream big. Stokes, a California native, grew up practically in the shadow of the Los Angeles campus, becoming a familiar and accessible figure for the Trojans. Geographic proximity and the tireless work of Coach Eric Musselman seemed to pave the way for Stokes to choose to stay home. Official visits were made, promising conversations took place, and for months, USC was seen as a serious contender. But recruiting is a chessboard, and while USC tried to solidify its position, other pieces began to move around it, completely redefining the landscape. Kentucky, with its near-mythical heritage in college basketball, has never truly been out of the picture. The program led by Mark Pope knows exactly how to operate in these situations, with patience, strategy, and a deep understanding of what motivates young talent to don the blue and white of Lexington. It's no wonder the Wildcats are listed as hottest in recruiting forecasts, while USC remains stagnant in the hot category. This subtle distinction may seem small to some, but in the competitive world of college basketball, it speaks volumes. It's the reflection of a well-oiled machine, capable of maintaining its appeal even when other programs try to steal the spotlight. And speaking of spotlight, the Kansas Jayhawks also enter the race with impressive momentum. While Kentucky is still considered the favorite, the Jayhawks have shown remarkable determination, especially with Talon Kinney, the number 1 point guard in the 2026 class, already committed to Lawrence. Kinney has been working behind the scenes to lure Stokes, creating a partnership narrative that could be irresistible to the forward. There's something almost poetic about this dynamic. Two of the best players in the country coming together to build something special at Kansas. However, the weight of tradition and the direct pipeline to the NBA that Kentucky offers remain decisive factors. Another interesting aspect of this dispute is the nil agreement Stokes recently signed with Nike. Traditionally, this could be interpreted as an advantage for Kentucky and USC, both universities associated with the sportswear giant. However, Kansas, with ties to Adidas, seems undeterred. This demonstrates that, in the current college basketball landscape, brand influence is no longer an absolute factor. What truly matters is a program's ability to sell its vision and create a genuine connection with the athlete. And in this regard, Kentucky continues to lead the way. Meanwhile, USC watches from afar, watching its chances diminish with each new speculation. Despite all their efforts, the Trojans have failed to capitalize on their geographic proximity or the program's current momentum. Louisville and Oregon, once considered threats, are also slowly falling out of the running. It remains to be seen whether some unexpected event could change the course of this story. But so far, everything indicates that Stokes will choose between Kentucky and Kansas. What makes this matchup so fascinating is that it transcends numbers and rankings. It's about identity, about finding the right place for a young athlete to build their career. And, at least for now, Kentucky seems to be that perfect place for Tyron Stokes. With Mark Pope at the helm, the Wildcats are not only seeking victories, but also writing chapters that echo across generations. Let's see how it plays out. A huge loss. Despite having visited Kentucky 3 times, this recruit won't be coming to UK basketball. It's a shame. Anthony Thompson, a 6 feet 0 inches forward from Ohio and one of the top prospects in the 2026 class, visited Kentucky 3 times over the past year, including high-profile events like Big Blue Madness and home games that marked last season. However, on Tuesday morning, Thompson announced his decision to commit to Ohio State, ending the cycle of speculation and expectations in Lexington. Ranked the 8th best overall prospect by the 247 Sport Composite, Thompson brings with him a rare skill set and versatility that makes him attractive to any college basketball system. His talent for scoring, playing near the basket, running screens, and even handling the ball when necessary demonstrates that he is not only an elite athlete, but a player capable of adapting and adding immediate value to any team. Thompson's decision, while a loss for Kentucky, does not diminish the program's prestige as it continues to attract high-level players and maintain a reputation for excellence in developing athletes. Thompson's recruitment also serves as a reminder of the competitive nature of today's college landscape, with multiple elite universities, including Michigan, Indiana, North Carolina, Purdue, and Texas, vying for the top prospects. Ohio State's choice of Thompson isn't a surprise to analysts, but it certainly leaves room for Kentucky to focus on other emerging talent. The school remains among the few in the SEC without a confirmed commitment for the 2026 class, but this reflects less a gap and more an opportunity to continue shaping its team with strategic precision. Despite Thompson's absence, Mark Pope's program maintains a solid foundation and a recent track record of success that inspires confidence. The way Kentucky attracts talent, combines veteran players, and fosters individual development shows that the program is resilient and always capable of adapting, even when some recruiting targets choose different paths. Every momentary loss in recruiting is, in fact, an invitation to seek new opportunities, reinforcing the idea that UK basketball is, above all, a project of continuous construction, attentive to talent and team chemistry. Thompson's departure doesn't overshadow the positive narrative surrounding Kentucky basketball. The program remains synonymous with tradition, competence, and ambition, ready to continue developing elite athletes and pursuing new memorable seasons under Mark Pope's guidance. Hopefully, more great players will come along. Share your thoughts.